This is the plaintiff, Samuel Achumpong. He says the defendant rented an apartment from him, told him in the middle of the lease she was leaving, and then did just that. The woman just up and left, broke her lease, and he isn't the type to let a tenant get away without paying him his due. So he's suing her here and now for the $3,000 he's owed. This is the defendant, Dixie Jumpy. She says the plaintiff's bugging if he thinks he can sue her for all this money because she simply doesn't owe it. She gave him and her roommates plenty of notice she was leaving because she got into a pretty bad car accident. Bottom line, she's pretty sure the judge will see this for what it is, a shakedown. She's accused of running out on the rent.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant rented an apartment and skipped out in the middle of the lease. But the defendant says it's just a shakedown. It's the case of shake your booty like a piggy bank.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mr. Achumpong, you are suing Ms. Jamfi for $3,000 that you say she owes you in rent and damages and lost wages.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what happened here between you two.
I've known the defendant since August of last year, and she's my tenant. She's been paying rent. She was paying rent quite well.
Were you living there as well?
I was living there, yes.
Okay. And how many people were you renting to? So how many people living together there?
3.
Okay.
Including her is 3.
Okay.
So March of this year, she sent me an email. Sorry, she sent me a text, and she said she's not gonna live there no more.
Why?
Because she had an accident.
And she couldn't afford the rent?
And she could not afford the rent. So
okay. So in March, did she pay rent?
She paid me part of the rent.
How much?
She gave me $160.
All right. So you're suing for March rent.
Yes.
And then did she continue to live there?
She did.
Until when?
Until May.
Okay. When did she move out in May?
I'm not pretty sure because she still have her stuff in the room.
What did she leave in the room?
She has a bed, and she has trash. She has completely trashed the apartment. She has trash everywhere. The paint is messed up.
Where are you living?
Bordentown. Oh.
I meant, like, are you living with a friend? Or are you living with...
No, parents. I needed the apartment because I go to school in that area, but I don't really stay there.
Oh,
so I was commuting
you just left all your
home.
junk there? I mean, why didn't you move the stuff out?
It was a bed frame that he set up, so I didn't have the stuff to take it down.
Tough for you. That's an inconvenience for you because you're the one with the responsibility of getting your stuff out of there if you don't want to keep paying rent there.
He said he would move the stuff, so...
What?
He said he would move the stuff to the basement, and he didn't.
He said he would move the stuff, or you said move the stuff to the basement? Which is it?
No, I didn't tell him to move the stuff to the basement.
When did he say he'd move the stuff to the basement?
I can't remember the exact date. Maybe April, May.
Okay, I'm looking at the text between you guys, and you're saying, can you just move it to the basement?
Yes,
and he's saying that you need to grow up and that you need to move your stuff. That's how it went down in the text.
Well, he would threaten me like, oh, sometimes if you come, I'll call the police. Like, I'm not dealing with that. It's a bed frame. Oh, you never said
Can
that?
I see it? Can I see in the text where he threatened you like that?
I got a new phone, so all that stuff is gone.
Oh, so you have no evidence?
Just the little that I could save off my phone.
Okay, show me any evidence you want to show me.
In March, I didn't say I was moving out. I just told him I got in an accident.
Okay. And you didn't pay him any rent? Or you paid $160?
Yeah, because
your rent is how much?
$490 for my part.
So, what kind of accident did you get into that you couldn't pay rent?
Rear-ended. I was headed.
Someone rear-ended you, or you rear-ended?
No, I rear-ended them.
Okay.
I was going to school, and that day I was going to pay him the rent. It was March 1st.
And so why didn't you just pay him the rent?
Because then my car was in the shop. I had to pay like $1,000 something.
So you needed the money for other expenses that you wanted to pay for, like getting your car back.
Yeah. So
okay. That's your defense, or is that just what happened?
That's what happened, and I didn't have it to give to him, so I told him. I mean, like I said, I told him I was going to pay him. It's not like I never wanted to pay him, so.
Can you think he can deposit your words? And are you yawning?
No, I have a headache.
How much weed did you smoke before coming here?
I don't smoke.
Okay, I don't know what's going on, but you've been yawning since you walked in.
I took allergy medicine before I came.
That was a good idea.
I was sneezing.
That was a good idea. You're on the People's Court and you're taking allergy medicine before you walk in so you can fall asleep while the judge is talking to you.
So even if you believe the defendant is taking allergy medicine before going to court, good idea, bad idea?
Bad idea.
Because?
Because you have to represent yourself in a positive way. So if you're sitting there yawning.
But if you're sitting there sneezing, that's not good either, right? I mean,
No, it's not.
So what do? Sneeze or do you look stoned? What's better?
I think
Give me one answer, quick.
sneeze.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Okay, then. So let's look at your damages. What is it you're suing for?
I'm suing for a broken sink.
Show me the pictures of what you say she broke.
Okay. So I have pictures of the sink, the towels, and the trash she left in the room.
Okay. So you put some pennies next to them so I could see. What is this I'm looking at?
That's broken towels, Your Honor.
Oh, I see. They're the size of a penny, so it's this big. This chunk is missing right there?
Yes.
It's just from here to here that it's missing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then this is a chip in the
In the sink.
sink. How did this happen, do you know?
I didn't know there was a chip in the sink. When I was there was no chip in the sink.
How about the broken tile?
Didn't know that either.
So you definitely so you didn't get it this way, that's for sure, because when you were there, it didn't have that.
We weren't downstairs.
Okay? So the question is, did someone move into your room with all your junk still strewn everywhere and go around breaking stuff? That would be the question. All right, so what's this a picture of? This is all the stuff she left there?
Yes, that's her trash in the room.
Okay. And this big bag is what? Has belongings in it?
Yes.
Okay. And there's more belongings here. How is this you moved out?
That's not my clothes. That's donations I had got from a clothing drive I did.
Yeah, that you left behind?
Yeah.
For other people to handle?
Like my 24.
What are you studying?
Psychology.
Yeah, I know what psych is. I'm a psychology major. You have a serious narcissistic problem. Look it up. Where are you going to school?
Rutgers.
You are suing for the balance of March rent,
Yes, ma'am.
April rent, and May rent.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a written lease in this case?
There is a lease, yes.
May I see it?
Excuse me.
Why are you suing for $1,100 in, quote, lost wages?
Yes, Your Honor, between the months of March and May, she told me several times she was bringing the rent. So over 20 times she told me to stay home and wait for her to bring the rent.
20 times?
Yes, so, yeah, and it's
Why would you stay home 20 times waiting for her? Like after the second time, wouldn't you just say, I'm not staying home anymore. You need to come when it's convenient for me.
She sounded pretty convincing.
20 times she sounded convincing? You're very easily convinced.
Your Honor, I really needed her to come to the room and clean up the room and also give me my keys. So I had to be there.
Did you make 20 appointments you didn't keep?
It was not 20.
How many? How many were there?
Your Honor, I have
Wait,
the
I want to hear from her. How many were there?
Maybe 6 or something.
Why did you not keep 6 appointments?
Because the person who was promising to give me money would always change his story. So there was nothing I could do about it because my car was in the shop.
Oh, you kind of could reach out to him and tell him, I can't make it. But no, you don't get lost wages because of that. You should wisen up and stop doing it and go to court like you eventually did. Give me the receipts for the estimates for the repairs.
I already gave it to you together with
In
the
here?
document. Yes.
With the pictures?
No, yes.
No, these are all pictures. All right, I'm just going to give it the estimate that I think is appropriate. Where's your original lease? Did it call for late fees?
Yes, Your Honor.
Rent was how much? $700?
Rent was $700, but it got brought down to $490
Why?
because she had a roommate, and the roommate was going to pay the rest.
So basically, this is a month to month? Like it wasn't a terms. Resident agrees to pay in advance $700 in the first of each month. There's no end to this one. Mm-hmm. So I guess it would be considered a month to month because it's not a yearly lease. It's not 6 months. It's not a term specific. It's just this is how it's going to be. These are the rules while you're living here. There was a security deposit in the amount of what? How much was your security?
$350 each. Because there was 2 of us at first.
And is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So what is there? We have the $330 balance from March, which I'm ordering you to pay. We have the April rent, which I'm ordering you to pay. And we have May rent, which I'm ordering you to pay. You have $300 in late fees because that's part of your lease. And of the amount that you're asking for the damages, I'm going to allow part of it. I'm going to allow $400. So that's a total of $2,010, from which we're going to subtract the $350 security deposit for a sum total judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,660, verdict for the plaintiff. Pay the man.
So the plaintiff does prevail in this case. Ms. Giamfi has just come out of the courtroom. You know, I think it would, maybe you'll agree with it. I don't think you gave the judge a very good impression of yourself today. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I never said I wasn't going to pay him, so.
The judge was even warned. You've been smoking something before you came in here today.
No, I had a terrible headache. I was blowing my nose, like these allergies. Yeah, so.
All right. How do you feel about the outcome? You okay?
Fine. Yeah,
You're
I'm
fine.
good.
Okay, cool.
I'm good.
All right, you must sign some documents. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Officer McIntosh is waiting for you. Now here comes the plaintiff. How do you feel? You okay?
I feel good, yeah. I'm very happy about the outcome.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
you got something back.
Yeah, she's extremely dishonest. And,
Yeah, I got to see what you mean. All right, thank you very much. You must
you.
sign some documents too. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, here are the words to live by. If you break the lease, unless you have a real legit reason for doing it, if the landlord breached the agreement, you are responsible for the money for the balance of the term.